The following presentation is brought to you through the paid memberships of NotaryStars.com, the only notary training platform and resource library with over 150 hours of training on every loan product under the sun. Together with our sister website, OnlineNotariesPublic.com, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary, we strive to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without overfabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support us, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member and trusting us to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to MGM, Monday General Mentorship. This session is brought to you by NotaryStars.com, and thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. Today is Monday, December 4th, 2023, and my name is Beth Hathoot. I'm an instructor for Notary Stars, and I have with me my two fabulous, as always, co-hosts, Mr. Ronnie Mickle, the founder and co-owner of Notary Stars, Unlimited Ink Notary, and Online Notaries Public, and Mr. William Bumfrey, aka Mr. Bill. He's our expert remote online notary instructor here at Notary Stars. This public training session is held every Monday, except for holidays, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's all about you, the notary and signing agent community. This type of session works best if you can do a couple of things. First, we want to know what's on your mind. What unanswered questions do you have, or would you like to share a win or a tip with your community? Your participation is very much appreciated and actually vital. At any time during this session, you can use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen to get into queue to ask questions or share live with all of us. And second, it would be helpful if you could turn on your cameras. If you aren't driving, it just makes it so much easier to interact with all of you. Couple of quick things I want to remind you of. Please consider following us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We'll post the links in the chat here in just a minute. And don't forget that jot form to pre-ask your questions for our Monday General Mentorship sessions. So if we are all ready here, Mr. Ronnie, are you ready to kick us off?
Absolutely. First of all, welcome everybody. I do want to ask if it is possible for you to please turn on your cameras tonight. We are moving into the digital age of our careers. You're going to have to get used to being on camera. For those of you in California, say we got, 7-9 more years, get over it. You got Zoom filters here to help you cover up any of that stuff you don't want to see in the house or on your face or anything. And let me tell you, I'm filtered to HE double hockey sticks in the back every session. So if you met me in real life, you probably wouldn't even recognize me. So let's turn on those cameras and let's light it up tonight. Couple of announcements from me before we get started. I want to announce 2 upcoming sessions that you'll probably be interested in. December the 4th, we are going to have a special guest in the house from Pactima. Some of you might have heard of it. As you know, at Notary Stars, we are always constantly trying to get new RON platforms to come in and tell us about their RON platforms, give us all their pricing, show us a demo, and then put that into our training so that you guys can analyze the platforms and choose which one is best for you. So please mark your calendar for December the 14th. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Arizona time, so that's 5 Pacific Standard Time, 8 Eastern. Something else that you might be really excited about, and I'm actually very excited about it. We had just an outpouring of, our podcast that we have done with Abraham Zamora. And I know that those of you have gone out and followed him directly and all those things. If you don't know Abraham, he's called the Notary Entrepreneur. He was the first notary I ever hired nationwide as a signing service from Unlimited Ink Notary. And he is actually one of our account reps at Unlimited Ink Notary. So when you're getting business from pretty much anything that's out of California, you should be thankful to Abraham. Because he's the one who went out and got all that business. He is the West Coast manager. So we are putting together a new podcast series. It is the same podcast title, The Notary Entrepreneur, the Notary Business Talk. And our title for our upcoming series is direct business. And one thing that we're doing differently with this podcast is you get to participate. So mark your calendars for December the 19th. The only thing we are talking about on that session is direct business. You do have to be a member of Notary Stars in order to participate in this session. So it is not a free and public event. It is only for Notary Stars. That is at the Notary Star and higher membership levels. I know my marketing students will love that class, but we launched that on December the 19th. So you will either need to be subscribed to Abraham's podcast to get the replay, but if you want to be a part of the audience and ask questions and pitch in on the topics, we start that on Tuesday the 19th. Last thing I want to mention, and Ms. Beth, you may want to chime in on this as well, but we live in a day and age of protecting our own credit scores. If you are applying for your background check renewal and you have your credit report locked, you are going to cause delays in your background check renewal. So, Ms. Beth, did I execute that properly getting out, or do you have any advice on that?
No more advice, just a story that I failed my background check. My renewal comes up here in December, and I failed my background check twice. I was going to have to tell my boss, Mr. Ronnie Mickle, that he hired a felon or something was going on in my background report. And literally what it was, when I finally called and checked on it, they told me they weren't able to retrieve information. And that's because I had my credit report locked. So guys, it usually only takes a few days for background reports to come back from the NNA, depending on your state. Just unlock your credit report for just a little bit. And then as soon as you get your notification that your background check has been complete, you can go right back in and lock it back up again.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Beth. I think we are ready to get started with questions. And guys, please turn on those cameras if you are able. If you are not naked or eating at the moment, we would love to see your face. Ms. Beth, we have lots of questions from the jot form. And guys, we want to encourage you to early on raise those hands to get yourself into queue for questions, because it always seems toward the end we start getting more and more perpetual questions. We want to start the session off with the questions so that your question gets answered during the session. So Ms. Beth, you want to read off the first question there?
Absolutely. This one is from Marty Shelton. I think this one was left over from last week, actually. It says, I need to get more involved with my website. I have an immediate need to switch the website host from SiteGround to somewhere else that is reasonable and user-friendly. Please advise which one you recommend.
So for anybody that is working with websites, you are never going to hear anything from me but Wix.com. For those of you that are WordPress users for your website, I'm sorry, I don't think that it's user-friendly. They nickel and dime their users. And at some point, if you want to scale your business, it's going to cost you more money than taking my marketing class. I am a Wix partner legend. They have the lowest pricing and the most reach for any notary business owner out there. So Miss Marty, if you are looking to switch your website from a host, I would have to say that you want to rebuild that website on Wix.com and have it hosted there. I usually buy my domain names from GoDaddy and then have Wix host the actual website. And when you're ready and you want to know how to get found on the first page of Google for every single page that you have, come see me at my Notary Star Plus marketing class and I'll make sure that happens.
Awesome. So hosting is not the same as the website, or hosting is the website, not the domain, right?
So your website can be hosted anywhere. So Wix offers the ability to host your website along with building it. You can have a free, but in order to take the ads off, you have to host it on the Wix platform. So you would just point your domain toward the Wix platform.
Perfect. We do have a hand already raised in the gallery. Mr. Ronnie, you want to do that or go to the next jot form question? The next question is from our jot form, and it's also looks like a Ron question. So this one's going to be for Mr. Bill Bumfries. Well, and or Ronnie, if he wants to chime in. I'm not one of those that can do that. It says, What RON platforms would you recommend? I'm in a more rural area, good with general notary work and loan signings, but I've been considering being at home. So it sounds like Rebecca is wanting to stay home and do RON. So what RON platforms should she look into?
So it's a little bit loaded. The question, it kind of depends on where your business is going to come from. If you're going to do a lot of your own general notary work and you're going to go out and get it, then you want to go with a platform that's going to have the lower fees, which would be something like a Blue Notary, or even Notarize, which is now Proof, Pactima. Those are all good for bringing your own business. That it depends on the number of notarizations that are in there too. So I guess the first thing I would say is come to class on Friday, and we can give it a lot greater discussion where I can kind of, get a feel for what specifically you're looking at, because different platforms have different things. Now, if you're going to do signings for, for Unlimited Ink, or you're going to do them for Amrock, or you're going to do them for something like that, then you're going to use whatever platform they direct you to. So for instance, Amrock is going to tell you you're going to use Nexus ClearSign. If you're going to go out and kind of recruit your own business, again, it kind of depends on how big the packages are. If you're going to get something like full escrow docs with tons of notarizations that you're going to do on your own, or you're going to get a trust attorney or something where you're going to have a lot of notarizations in a thing, then you want to look at something that's not based on you paying per stamp that you apply to the document, but rather per transaction. That's where like a Pactima is nice, a Blue Notary, something like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a hedgy answer because a lot of it depends on what you're going to do. Does that kind of answer the question?
She is not present tonight, so I can't ask her, but yeah, that's all great advice.
I'd like to chime in on that, just to kind of reiterate on a couple of things, because our next question coming up, it says, how do I start receiving clients? And I think that's along the same vein. And the whole question is, how do I start receiving clients? I just did the RON course and submitted my application. I've been a Florida notary since 2008. So this is along the same vein. A couple of questions that I'm sure Bill gets asked all the time, and I get asked all the time is, I just became a RON notary, how do I get started? Well, and I'm trying to say this with the most loving response, because I don't want it to sound, I do it all the time, so it's easy for me, right? Like, okay, I've already gotten started. This is how you do it. The first step is to really lay it all out. Like, we have brought in every platform that will speak to us at Notary Stars and put them into the Notary Stars, RON journey. You can come in and compare those platforms. First things first, you've got to get approved by your state. After you get approved by the state, you have really three avenues you can go. There are the platforms that provide you business, and a lot of notaries think that they're going to survive off of that alone. That is not true. Amrock is a great example. They have a lot of RON business, but they're extremely slow. Notarize only works with notaries out of certain states to do on-call program. So that means that you're also going to have to sell your platform to your clients, your signing services, and your title companies. That is something that if you need help marketing, you can come to my marketing course or any marketing course. You can't just sit on your hands and say, well, nothing ever came to me. That's not how business works. That's not how in-person signings work either. You had to put your name in every hat. You have to walk into the title companies. Now there's an additional step with marketing RON. You have to express to them, like, I have my RON certification. Is there a platform you prefer? This is the one I'm using. Can you get it approved? There's a whole conversation level there. And then that third avenue is, so I did the bring your own business, the direct marketing. And then the third is, if you just want to be an order taker for Notarize and get paid, $5 an order, that's okay. There's plenty of notaries out there that are doing that. But there's going to be those 3 avenues for you, and you've got to decide which one works for you. And then you have to take that initiative to actually market the product. If you need help with that, we actually have a lot of that under the Notary Stars hood. You just have to come there and take advantage of it. Let's move on to the next question with the hand raised, because I don't want to leave the hands up because these virtual hands get tired just like regular hands. Miss Charlotte, how about you go next with your question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you for taking my question. My question was, I missed the resume class and I wanted to know if that was recorded.
The resume class is recorded, and for those of you that are looking at it, it will be in the replays probably tomorrow or Wednesday. Gloria has been out, so getting replays uploaded. She's been on vacation, so getting replays uploaded to our platform are taking a little time, but it will be in your Notary Star journey for replay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, back to jot form questions. Let's see. That one we just kind of answered, but it's along the same vein. It says, I'm new here, just wondering if we can access older mentorship Zoom calls. I see notary and marketing courses on the website, but not where we can see older calls.
Oh, I can show you exactly where you can find those. So on our website here, Miss Beth, you can see our website here.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So on our website here, there's a couple of journeys. There's a couple of ways to access things. If you are a Notary Star member, we have your entire training journey under this mentorship here. If you are doing Notary Star, any level also has access to the RON training that we have available. The Notary Star Plus marketing course is here. And then if you just want to hop to the general mentorships that are free and public, all you have to do is visit right here on our homepage, and they're listed in the order that they appeared. And all you have to do is click that button, view all, and it'll take you through the last year's journey of our general mentorship. So if you happen to miss one, they're right there for you, linked and ready to, and they're in order from the most recent to the furthest away in time.
Okay. This one's kind of a long-winded, well, not totally long-winded. This is let me do this one question, then we'll get to Nancy Fauché here. It says, has anyone heard of the CTA, the Corporate Transparency Act, that's going into effect January 1st, 2024 for LLCs and C Corps? Short answer for you here. The Corporate Transparency Act, CTA, was enacted in 2021. It was effective, or is effective, January 1st, 2024. It's also known as the Beneficial Ownership Information Reporting. It was passed to enhance transparency in entity structures and ownership, and is really an effort to combat money laundering, tax fraud, and other illicit activities. It does apply to corporations, limited liability companies, business trusts, and most limited partnerships. So think doctor's offices, right? Where the entities are generally created by a filing of documents with the Secretary of State or Governor's office. So if you do that, if that's a requirement in your state for an LLC, you may be subject to this new regulation. Since we are not experts on the subject, I'm going to refer you to the federal government website to download the Small Entity Compliance Guide, and we'll throw that. Oh, he already threw it in the chat. It's in there. And they also have published a list of frequently asked questions. And that link was also placed in the chat. This also may be a question that your tax advisor, your CPA, or your bookkeeper may be able to answer for you also, only because it's not a tax issue, but it's a compliance issue for small businesses. So check with your CPA. They might be able to give you more information. But those are the two federal links that you can look up and get all that nice info.
Yeah, and we will be having some more information come. We have had Glenn Hill, the tax lady, as well as Notary Assist put together some information. But don't wait for us. This needs to be on your radar for January 1st, because that's when it starts. And we all know you blink and it'll be another year. So we're sitting here on 12/4/2023. And if any one of us sneezes tonight, we'll be on 12/4/2024. So don't wait for us to put out an article. You might miss it. Once you hear about it, put it on your radar. Because it starts on the 1st this year.
Yeah, and this was basically created just to expose the true owners of corporations and LLCs. We know when we file that paperwork, we're listing the members, we're listing the president, whatever that title would be for the type of entity that you have. But it doesn't say if there is a straw owner to the corporation. So that's what they're looking to get down to. That's what they're trying to bring into compliance, is who is the true owner of these LLCs and these corporations and these big companies. So that's what that's all about.
That means we are going to have a less hard time finding those shady signing service owners.
Yeah.
LLCs that open and close in the middle of the night. God, I wish I could name names, but we won't tonight. How about we go to Miss Nancy Poche's question next?
Miss Nancy, do you want to unmute and ask your question?
All right. Just a quick question. Now, I know that we are not allowed to make copies of military IDs active. Are we allowed to copy retired military ID?
Negative.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before we post this replay, we will have to blur out Mr. Gunn's ID. So
Yeah.
a slight delay in getting the replay done. Because I'm too pretty to go to jail. I will not survive. I ain't the best looking man on the planet, but I am not going to do well in jail.
This next question, guys, comes out of Texas, and I'm really happy to see that this notary is actually looking very closely at their statutes to figure things out on their own and then try to get information and research the problem. His question is kind of hard to follow. So let me read what he wrote, and then I'm going to take you through what I think he's talking about. Okay. He says, whether putting proved to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence, quote unquote, in an ordinary acknowledgement per section, blah, 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 of the civil code, if it meets the requirements. Except in a short form certificate of acknowledgement, it says in that code, the officer must note the certificate of acknowledgement that he personally knows the person, or evidence of a witness, we're talking credible witness here, or identification card or other document was used to identify the person. So what I think he's asking is, if we have a certificate that says, prove to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence, does that satisfy the regulation that says it has to be, one, personally known, has to say personally known by the acknowledging person, or evidenced by credible witness or an ID document? So he's asking, is that acceptable? So when we look at Texas State Handbook, they do have certificate samples in there and verbiage for that regulation. They have a long form acknowledgement that has those two elements in it. It says, before me, blank, on this day, personally appeared, known to me or proved to me on the oath of blank, or through whatever type of ID card. That's the long version. That's in Texas code. But he's asking, can it read like we so often see, personally, or prove to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence? Is that enough to meet the requirements for Texas statutes? So That handbook, your Texas handbook, uses the term satisfactory evidence, and it is specifically listed as the definition when describing the two types of evidence, personally known or identified by a credible witness or ID card. So because of this, I'm going to argue that it does indeed meet the requirement for the wording in your certificate. Texas also has a fundamentals publication that gives a little bit more information over your handbook that might be helpful. I'm going to post that in the chat for Texas notaries as well. So bottom line in this scenario, if, because your regulations say, has to be shown, proved to me, known to me, or proved to me on the oath or through a credible witness, it doesn't have to be specifically that wording, because proved to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence is their definition for those two items. So I hope I made that clear as mud for you.
Thank you, Ms. Beth. I also shared my screen so that they could see the certificates that you put into the general mentorship notes for tonight.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was going to be helpful for people to have an actual visual for
That-
that as well.
If I'd have known that, I would have been pointing and as I was talking, but yeah, that's great.
I felt guilty because I can see what you're looking at, and then I realized everyone else can't, and I wanted to make sure people could actually see it. So, are we ready for the next question?
Yes, sir.
All right, Michelle, you had your hand up for a minute and then you put it down. Are you good, or do you want to ask a question there? You're good? Okay, perfect. All right. Ms. Beth, what question are we on next?
Federal wrong bill, HB 1059. That's actually a misnomer. It's HR 1059.
Okay. What's the question on it? I've lost my place. I'm looking for it.
This says, I hear there's a federal wrong bill, HB 1059, that passed earlier this year. Does anyone know what that bill says? Well, it's not HB 1059, it's HR 1059. And just a side note for anybody who's following legislation or regulations, all of those House bill numbers start over every year. So, and they're used at the state level. So once they get up to federal level, it changes from HB to HR. Okay. So HR is House of Representatives. So not House bill, but House of Representatives. So that bill, the Secure Notarization Act of 2023, and that bill aims to set standards for authorizing and establishing standards for remote electronic notarization. So three things it's doing. Setting standards, establishing nationwide recognition of notarizations, meaning government agencies have to accept RON notarizations, and it protects consumers and prevents fraud. So that's what this bill is attempting to do. It has passed the House and the Senate in February of 2023. It's been referred to Congress. That's where it's sitting now. And if it passes Congress, then it'll need to be signed by the president to become law. So we don't know what's happening on that now. We don't know when Congress is going to look at it and pass judgment on it, either kill it or pass it on to the president. So that's where we're sitting with it right now.
Just to clarify in there, because you said something, it goes from the House to the Senate. It went from the House to the Senate last year,
Right.
and it didn't get passed by the end of that term. So it died, and then they brought it back to the House again in February of this year, and it's now sitting over in the Senate. But if
Correct.
nothing happens, it'll die again.
Yes.
So that's kind of what keeps
Matt
happening.
Miller from the California League of Independent Notaries has anything to do with it, it'll die again, because there are things in that bill that he does not like. So anyway,
Yeah.
not in his opinion are good for a federal notarization bill. Okay. Where do we want to go next, Mr. Ronnie?
I actually want to get your take on this question. I think it came from last week, but I also want to get this question out there because I think a lot of notaries do this. It says, I'm booked for safe deposit box openings for next week at my local bank. Since I will be witnessing several boxes being open, how do I journal this? Does each box need its own journal entry?
Yes and no. So the client is the bank. And the items that you're notarizing are those witness certificates for each of the boxes. So you'll have one entry for the client, the bank, and then each box you're notarizing separately. You have to have a separate entry, separate line entry for each of those boxes. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that it would be similar to having a loan signing with several documents. You're going to notate each document that you're doing, but it can be done on one journal line if your state allows that.
Yeah, when I think of a journal entry, my customer is Mr. Bank.
Mhm.
So Mr. Bank's information is going there, and for Mr. Bank, I'm notarizing this box opening certificate for box 532. And each one of those boxes gets a separate line and shows what type of certificate I'm completing.
Got it. Thank you, Ms. Beth. We have a special guest here. Just want to have her pop up for 1 second. I think she was here. There she is. Ms. Dealora, why don't you come and say hello to everybody?
Hey, Dealora.
I gotta ask, where's the unmute button? I'm sorry, Dealora, give me 1 second. End you before let me unpin you 1 second. Oh wait, here we go. There you go. Now you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I just want to say that you guys talk about this stuff and it makes my head spin. Probably like you feel when you're looking at health insurance coverage. So I just wanted to say we're even. So I'm Dealora, and Ronnie and Beth have asked me to be a part of your group in a way, just as a resource to help you with health coverage, since you are all independent contractors and don't have group coverage to fall back on. So I'm just here to say hello, thank you, and remind you that open enrollment ends in 11 days for a policy to start January 1st. So if you haven't looked at your plans yet for 2024, now is the time. You are running out of time, and you want to have as much time as you can to educate yourself and take a look at what's offered right now. As an independent contractor, there are plans available to you as a business owner that you might not be aware of. And that's what I'm here for. I'll help you look at all of your options. Some of you, the best fit is the marketplace. Maybe you're earning a subsidy or you have pre-existing conditions, so that's where you need to be. But others of you that are healthy and not getting a subsidy and paying a pretty penny for your health coverage, those are typically who I can help the most. But regardless, I can help you look at all of your options and help you decide and educate you so that you can decide what plan is best for you or your family. So thank you again for having me, and I will put my contact information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out anytime.
Thank you, Ms. Dealora. And I also posted our page. So we have a whole video that you rolled out for us at the beginning of open enrollment. And I've got all your contact information posted in there as well. But I just want to say, while you're still here, the reason that we plug this, guys, is because every business owner runs a very big risk of going out of business really quickly if you don't have some sort of major medical coverage. You know, for those of you that are married and have spouses that take care of that, wonderful for you. For those of you that have to go through that open enrollment, but for those of you that are skating on the risk, you are literally one step up of a curve away from being out of business. And I am a living testament to anything. If Murphy's Law, if it can happen, it can. If it can happen, it will happen. So you do want to have some sort of coverage for your business and for yourself, because you are your business. So thank you, Ms. Dealora, for stopping by. We always appreciate you stopping by, and we hope that you'll keep coming and reminding us until open enrollment's over. But you can still work with people when it's not open enrollment, correct?
Yes, I can. So, I have more options than what the marketplace is giving you, but don't think that, oh, I've got time, I can wait because I'll be able to have Dealora help me. Private plans are underwritten, so you do have to qualify for them based on your health. And sometimes there's things on your medical record that you either forgot about or you didn't really realize that they actually put on there. And that eliminates you, disqualifies you from private plans. So you don't want to wait until the last minute because we need to have time to make sure that that is going to be a viable option for you. So definitely don't wait.
Thank you, Ms. Dealora. And guys, I just want to say this one last thing. Another reason why I feel so passionately about this, since we have almost 100 people on this call right now and people popping in and out. When I was 21 years old, my dad kept saying, Ronnie Lee, you need to get your own insurance. You need to get your own insurance. My dad worked for Duracell, wonderful company, paid for insurance up until I was 21. And I was just like a lot of 21-year-olds out there. Sorry if we have some 21-year-olds on the call tonight. Don't get mad, but I was, not as in tune with listening as 43-year-old Ronnie Mickle sitting here, okay? And my dad kept saying, Ronnie Lee, get your health insurance, get your health insurance. I was 2 days off my father's health insurance and I contracted bacterial meningitis. I spent, I think it was 3 weeks in a coma on my own and 3 to 4 weeks in an induced coma, and I had to learn to walk and talk again. It ran up a $500,000 bill, and I filed bankruptcy at 22 because I couldn't pay the medical bills, and that delayed my college education. I didn't graduate college until I was in my 30s. Really derailed my whole life. I cannot imagine going through something like this at 43, and I'm going to be facing 53 before you know it. So I can't imagine going through it then. So it's not a risk that a lot of us want to take, because some of the things that can happen to us are not like the bus that comes and hits you and breaks your back, like also happened to me when I first started my notary career. So, I'm living proof. If it can happen, it might happen, probably will happen to me. So I'd love to be covered. I'm the preacher of all insurances out there, but definitely health insurance, because all of you are starting and running and opening and growing your businesses, and the last thing you want is something like that to set you back.
And not only just for yourself, but you don't want to put your family through that either. And you have to think about it as, you put your seatbelt on before you crash. You need health insurance before something happens, or else you're not going to have coverage.
Yeah.
Dealora, I just gotta say that your background today just makes you look like a Mona Lisa portrait. Awesome.
So I'm actually sitting in the car because, I live in an RV, and I always do my best to angle my camera just right, and my kids are inside playing an Xbox and my husband's making dinner, and I just got done with a bunch of meetings, and I was like, I'm not going to throw everybody out of whack. I'm just going to go sit in the car. But my background is blurry, so you can't tell very well. And I thought it looked pretty cool too, with this black section over here and this over here. I was like, oh man, that's probably the greatest I've ever looked.
It's a good look for you.
Yeah.
You,
all right. Thanks for having me. See you next week or whenever the next time is.
Not for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I got that email.
Back up. We have one more Monday, and then we're closed for 2 weeks.
Okay, good. So I'll hit you next week, and that's the last week of open enrollment, I think.
There you go.
Perfect. Yep.
All righty.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Miss Beth, I'd really like to kick off this next question because I really want to be the one to answer it.
Okay.
It says, I'm a new notary and I'm still waiting for my commission to arrive. My question is, should I take the NNA test prior to getting all my documentation? So when I get my certificates, I can hit the ground running, or do I wait until I get my commission? Honestly, you should get your NNA and Notary Stars training and any other training that you can grab your hands on before that commission gets back to you, so that you can start working as soon as possible. The National Notary Association test is not going to prepare you for what we all do. Anybody on this call or anybody that's looking to get into this industry and finds this call later. The National Notary Association test is the certified signing agent test is literally just a test of ethics, and it should not be called a certified signing agent test. Truly, we have all raised this bar. You guys should put your hands up tonight and give yourself a real big round of applause, because you guys, especially those that come to Notary Stars, have literally set the bar higher in this industry than it's ever been set by the National Notary Association, because you're seeking out education, you're seeking out becoming a professional signing agent. To me, the National Notary Association, for all that they do, it's really for the baby notaries. It's not for those that are going to be career notary signing agents and diversified signing agents. So yes, you should get that out of the way, and any other training that you should get out of the way before that commission gets there. And it'll probably get to you before you can complete Notary Stars for sure, because we have 150 hours, but you should get started training while the clock is moving, and also surrounding yourself with notaries that are actually pushing toward goals like this will help you get there faster. Being involved in calls and in classes and things like that, you can reach out and say, hey, I did this, I did that, where do I go next? You know what they say, if you want to be successful, surround yourself with 4 successful people and you'll be the 5th one. So surround yourself with notaries moving in that direction, and don't wait. And also, for anybody that's going through downtime, I know for a fact we have notaries on here that are going through downtimes right now. I've been through several of them, as you've just heard. Use your downtime to build your website, to streamline your emails, to create templates, to do things that will benefit your business. The last time I injured my back, I was out for about 6 weeks. I fell off a loading dock and re-injured an injury from 10 years ago when I broke my back. I didn't break it again, but I thought I did. And I used that time to rebuild the Unlimited Ink website and added in online booking, and it just changed the level of my business. So use any downtime that you have or any waiting time to take another course, to add something else to your business, to redo your website, to do whatever you want to do. Use that time to better yourself. So I really wanted to chime in on that question. Miss Beth, do we have any questions from the chat? I know one that kept coming up. I'm going to go for this one if you want to comb the rest of the chat. Guys, we've got about 15 minutes left. If you have any questions, please raise those hands. But I do want to point out, we've gotten a lot of questions since that resume class of what template did I use. And I actually showed it, and I know that you guys don't have access to the replay yet, but that template is found in Canva. Everybody has access to the same template that I use. All you have to do is go in and select in Canva resume, and then you're going to see all the options there. And the one that I used actually stands out very clearly because it's the one with the sidebar. So if you are interested in where I got that template or how to get to it, all you have to do is go to Canva, and it's actually a free template that I use. So it's really not hard to find if you're looking for that resume template, because I saw it come in the chat a few times tonight, and it's been messaged on the job form a couple of times. And I want to make sure I say this right, so I'm going to say Miss Daniels, but is it Elena or Lana?
It's actually Elan.
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 Both ways.
Hi. I really wanted to introduce myself. I just joined Notary Stars probably last week.
Welcome.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys that just in the 3 modules, and I just want to reiterate about what you said about the NNA, because I thought I've only been doing loan signing, I think I'm almost a year, but maybe only 6 months doing loan signings, and I have made mistakes because I wasn't really taught with the NNA. I love the NNA, great information, but you're right about the course. It really didn't teach me anything. Very little. And just in 3 videos I watched with you guys, I have learned so much just with the 9 notarial things on my notarial block I need for Florida. Like today I just had a signing and I was like, I'm missing 2 elements. Like, so like, it's just crazy. Like, so yes, if people need to do Notary Stars for sure. But I really just wanted to introduce myself and let you guys know I'm here and I'm interested. I have tried to pick up your jobs, Ronnie. Every time they come in text, I'm like, I'll take it, but I know I'm not going to get it. But I always grab it, you know.
You will
I'm
get
looking.
it.
I know I'll get there. I'll get there. But I'm looking forward to working with you guys and really just wanted to introduce myself.
Thank you, wait a minute, Elan. Elan.
Ellen. But you
Elan,
can call me
Elan.
Cookie. Cookie's
Cookie.
easy.
Cookie. Thanks, Cookie. I'll pay you later.
So
Thank you for introducing yourself. And guys, I really wish a lot more of you would do that. There are some names that I see all the time, but you guys are really quiet in the background, and we would love to hear from you too. Thank you for being brave and stepping forward tonight and introducing yourself. And we look forward to, as your brain starts going, bring those questions forward too. We'd love to have every single one of you stepping forward.
Mr. Douglas has his hand up. Hey, Doug, do you want to unmute and ask your question? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay. My question is, do you need to do the training? Generally, all the agencies I've ever worked for generally require recurrent training every year. Do you recommend that we do the Notary Stars training on an annual basis, a semi-annual basis? What kind of time frames do you recommend? If there's any specific time frame that you find that works the best?
That's a really great question. So first of all, you have to do the National Notary Association Certified Signing Agent exam every year. That's something that every title agency and signing service is going to require from you. And good case in point, it's an ethics test that you have to take. Now with Notary Stars, once you hit your 150 hours, it becomes a resource library for you. Beth does update those, and she does notify you guys on the chat, and we post whenever we have a new module and things like that. It's really up to you as a business owner to kind of come back and comb those modules and see what's new. Go to the new, print out a new training calendar, compare it to the, not training calendar, but the list of track your training. Make sure that there are any updates, because I know Beth spent, the whole library has been redone in the last, 2 months, Beth? So
Yes.
everything is there, new, fresh videos, any updates to documents that you may be looking for. My rule of thumb is and this is how I look at it, Notary Stars is an ongoing continuing education platform. My rule of thumb, and I do operate my business this way, my personal notary business, which is very successful, as you guys know. If I'm not signing up for someone or going for direct business, then I am sitting in a training class learning what I'm going to do next. Every training course that I've ever endorsed to you guys and say, go take it, I've taken it. I take marketing training as well. I'm so excited if you guys didn't see the Instagram where I'm taking a marketing training course tomorrow, and I will probably regurgitate that in my marketing course, to the rest of my students if they haven't signed up for that training as well. So should you be, recertifying with Notary Stars? No, because you already know the information, but we do update those videos. So you may want to revisit and see if there's anything been updated. And of course, you have access to that library if you need to, do things. And here's the thing. I've been doing this for over 15 years, and Travis will tell you, I think it was just last year, there was nobody that would go up on this mountain and get the signing done. And I was like, I'll do it. It's a VA loan, of course. And I drove like halfway down the mountain. I called Travis and I was like, yes, I am using my own notary support line because I haven't done a VA loan in so long, and I get my answer before I drive all the way down. So, you just want to keep up to date on things as they come through. And there may be loan products that you only do sometimes in your area versus, loan products that different areas are going to have different loan products. Miss Nancy's from Florida just recently told me that they're having a ton of new home builds, from Lennar over in the Ocala area. And that's going to be, slightly different documents versus someone who's doing, a ton of refinances in their area. So you may want to just keep up to date in case one comes your way.
Or if you get the same familiar refinance, but it's for a state that you've never signed before, that would be maybe another reason to go back and visit the material.
Here in Charlotte, Charlotte is basically a city of 900,000 people. That's basically one big construction site, commercial, residential, and industrial. I mean, so there's always stuff. I'm always getting offers. So, it's just, got to basically just pick and choose which one's the nearest. Because here in Charlotte, it's just crazy.
Well, good. That means you're busy, right?
It keeps us out of trouble. I'll tell you that much.
All
Guys,
right.
I want to point out one more thing to you guys that I think is really important. If you guys have not heard the story of why I started Notary Stars in the first place, it was because I got sick and tired of places, and I'll call it out. Jeremy Belmont calls me one more time while I'm in Walmart buying my groceries and gives me some dumb notary test of 3 questions. I am going to find him and choke him because it is unprofessional to make someone pay for a listing and then call and give them some random test in the middle of the night and then delete their listing if they don't give the answer that they felt was the right answer. I got tired of going to forums where people are bickering and picking on each other, and you guys have seen it, where you see something on Facebook and then everybody causes a war. It's nice. I've already said at the beginning, if someone's not nice here, we will just pluck you out of the system because you don't belong here if you're not nice or promoting someone else to the next level in their business as well as yourself. But we opened up this discussion forum for the first time on Notary Stars, and it's been a little slow moving. But I want to invite you guys to this discussion board, and there are just 4 topics right now, but you guys have the ability to add topics as well, or suggest topics that need to go in there. We're just testing this out, but let me explain why this is really good. If you own your own website, let me explain how this works. So let's just say the RON platforms. Not only are you helping other notaries when you post a comment, but let's just say Monique Mitchell here posts a comment. Well, when you click through to her profile, you will see her website is there. That is called backlinking. When you post on a large website like Notary Stars and you have your website in your profile, when Google comes in and reads this page, it reads every single link on this page, and then it reads every single link on whatever's linked up of that. And then it finds your website, and then it goes out and it reviews your website as well. So if you are trying to get your website further up in the search rankings, there is a 2-fold reason why you should comment on the discussion boards. And if you would like to see a discussion come up on these on our new discussion board, we would love to see that. But you can comment on blog articles, you can comment on our discussion boards. These are all good things. And the more you comment, the more your backlinks you are creating for your website. Now, can all your backlinks in the world be from Notary Stars? Nope. But if you're posting regularly on Notary Stars and commenting on those blogs regularly, Google reads that reads our site regularly. Believe me, I make sure to that. You're going to be able to create a nice little read for your website as well. And especially for those of you that are actively working on your website, trying to get it higher in the search rankings, trying to get things going. Is that going to put all the way up to number 1? No, but it will help you a lot. So you have 2 reasons now to participate in those discussions. But I'd like to create a different kind of legacy, because if you go out to 123 Notary Cafe, all of them are just complaint forums. It's just a complaint forum. And I want to see positive comments. Even if it was a bad experience with a company, go post what was your worst experience. Look, this could have been better. This is what this company could do better. Maybe they'll read it. I don't know why people love to complain, but they don't love to put positive information. I worked really hard to get us to this 5-year mark. We're going on our 5th birthday at Notary Stars with no negative wars on the internet. And I will continue to be the #1 policeman of all of that. So if you are afraid to post because you think another notary is coming for you, believe me, I'm coming for them if they come for you. So you got a goalie there. So I would love to invite you guys to participate in those discussion forums. And then we have one last question for tonight from Ms. Sophia. Ms. Sophia, when you are ready.
Hey, Ronnie. I have a question regarding the discussion forums. If we are signed into Notary Stars, when we go in and make a comment, at that point, does it then refer back to our website, or how do we make sure that it refers? I mean, I'm just thinking, if I sign in as myself, does it automatically see that, or do I have to come in as a profile with my business information?
When you are a Notary Stars member and you put your website in your profile, that is, it's
Oh, okay, got
it's
you. It's there.
automatically attached to your profile. So when Google comes in and reads that first page and then it clicks on your listing to see where this came from, then it goes to your profile page, and then it goes to your social media, and it goes to your website. And that's what you want, is those Google bots reading your website. And it's not just Notary Stars. Any site that allows you to put in your website and allows you to have a profile attached to it, do it. Become a commenter. And I'll tell you, Neil Patel says comment on 5 major posts a day to bring up those things. So if you are looking to bring things up in the ranking, you want to comment not just on Notary Stars. Of course, we'd love all your comments there, but you want to post in there. And then Miss Sophia, to caveat on that, or to add one more step to that, when you comment in the Notary Stars Facebook forum or on our page, include your website on that so that it shows the hyperlink to your website. Sharing your website on social media should not be wrong, especially in notary communities, and anybody who tells you that it is not looking out for your best interest. You should share your website with every single post that you make. It literally, it should become a process.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if I had to have signed in a special way. So as long as I sign in as myself and my website and everything is there, then it's fine. I mean, I'm doing pretty decent on my website now, so I just want to, meet you.
Sophia, don't forget, while you're inside that discussion article, once you make your comment, if you look at the top right-hand side, it allows you to share that article and everybody's comments on your social media page.
Got you. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And guys, just one last thing as we close out tonight. We're still going to do our signature wave, but I just want to point this out. We are doing our annual sale up until January 1st this year. Just at the Notary Star level, it is $252 for 1 year, which sounds very expensive, but that comes out to less than the monthly payments right now. So $252 divided by 12, if you use the signing agent excellence code, that's just $21 a month versus $29.95. And then we have $502 for the Notary Star Plus marketing. Prices are going up in the new year. It is only 30% off this year. I have given away Notary Stars for $99 a year or less. Up until about last year, I increased prices last year, and I am sorry, but there are people charging $1,000 plus for what we do and giving a whole lot less. I am never going to lower the prices again. Everybody who has their prices are grandfathered in. I would love for you to get it, take advantage of the end of the year sale. We only do annual memberships once a year now, and I'll tell you why, because every year people forget that they signed up for a subscription, and it creates a bottleneck for billing and all of those things. So I would love to have you come in and, utilize this resource for a year. If you are in your first year or two, you are probably going to need someone to hold your hand. And we don't just train, we also do a lot of hand holding. Anybody that's used our Notary Stars line will tell you, we don't mind holding your hand through your first 2 years of business or more. With that said, if you are not naked or stuffing yourself with a sandwich right now, please turn on those cameras and let's give our signature wave. I try to treat this like church on Sunday when we, go over and shake a hand or wave at somebody. Turn on those cameras for just a moment. I know you might be tucking your kids in on the East Coast, but turn on those cameras for just a moment. Let's give our signature wave. Wave to yourself if you come back to watch the replay. Wave to a future notary who may just be finding out about us. And Miss Beth, how do we say it here at Notary Stars professionally?
Guys, everyone, remember that everybody is in the same story, but not everybody's in the same boat. Some of us have yachts, some are in canoes, and some are just dog paddling. So just be kind and help whomever you can. Take them along with you on your journey. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.